Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. We've got another SCRAWLRBOX.
Yes!
Violet, you're so loud. Sit down. Relax. No, Violet, I'm trying to record a video. Violet, I love you. You're adorable. But I'm trying to record a video. I am. I'm gonna take your jingly off, so at least I can do that without you ringing everywhere. Can I open my box? Do you want to open my box with me? Let's look. What's in here? What is it? Ooh, you don't care. Okay. Not looking at the spoiler book. I think we're gonna have paint. Ooh, canvas board. It's just one. Oh, it's 3 canvas boards. Okay. Here's the picture. Bastian Marini, between spontaneously and dynamic painting strokes. Bob2 seeks to... Yes, Violet. Bob2 seeks in each portrait to convey emotions and sensitivities. Self-taught and at first rocked by the underground universe, he then decides to turn the practice on canvas to devote himself to creation, study, and experiment different techniques. Bob2 Instagram and Facebook. I have a feeling this means I'm getting another SCRAWLRBOX paintbrush, which I love because I've desperately been needing new paintbrushes for a while. Violet has decided to join us for most of this video. I have removed her collar, so at least when she's not on screen, we don't hear jingle, 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 jingle. We have help. We have kitten help this time. Violet, what is it? Violet, what is it? You think? Is it pretty? No? Okay. I love when they give us these credit cards. It's a palette knife. They've done this before, but the last time they had us cut it up into shapes when we did oil paint. What do you think, Violet? Then we have, let's see, Faber-Castell 900 2B. I like 2B. 2B and 3B have got to be my favorite graphites. Then we have bubblegum. Then we have a paintbrush. And it's a Pro Art 5 round brush. You like it, Violet? You gonna eat it for me? We don't eat paintbrushes. No, we don't eat paintbrushes. It's very stiff. And then we have 3 bottles, or 3 tubes. These are big tubes of paint. What do we got? Heavy body acrylic. Ooh. We want to do acrylic. And we have process blue, process magenta, and lemon yellow. What do it's not process yellow? Okay. Tissue paper out of the way. What is this? Oops, if you haven't already noticed, I'm sure you soon will, but the pencil we mentioned on the printed elements of this box may not be the pencil we have included. Really? Oh, this was supposed to be a Stedler 150 HB. Unfortunately, the pencil we had originally chosen for this box was not manufactured and delivered on time. Save us for waiting. They just threw another pencil. Nice. Dollar Brownie, heavy body acrylic. The acrylics are still than ever, high pigment and used gives excellent color strength. This month's August. This month's box is all about texture and how its application can be manipulated given the added dimension to your artwork. We have included heavy body acrylic paints which are thick and sculptural. I've always wanted to do like a globby painting, so I'm excited about this. That's probably why they're such big tubes too, because you use more paint that way. Art boards, we got 3. Facial topography. Now this is funny because I am teaching self-portraits right now in my art classes, and we specifically have like been practicing drawing eyes and noses and ears and all of that. So this will be a test for me. See if I can make sense of this stuff. Let's look at our book. Globby paints, globby paints. Globby paint, extra thick paint, artist print, brush. Here's the artist. Man, those are really cool portraits. Tips. And pretty colored aminals from last SCRAWLRBOX. And then texture. Milo, what are you doing? Okay. So if this is our inspiration, facial topography, I guess we'll figure out if we can do this. Interesting stuff. So before we got started, I just want to mention they didn't give a white. I didn't think about it, that they didn't give a white. So either I am not using any variants in shading, or I'm going to use my own white acrylic paint, because why no white? Okay. Like I said, I've been drawing body parts, face parts with my classes lately. So I decided I'm going to start by teaching you guys how to draw an eye. I apologize if this is a longer video than normal. So I'm going to go through and do what I told my class this week. I am in Sweden, so excuse some of the terminology, but we're going to start by drawing an American football. Once you have your American football and you're mostly happy with it, you need to draw a circle. But if you look at a reference image of any eyeball, the circle is very, very often partially covered up by the top eyelid. If you just draw a normal circle, it usually looks kind of terrifying and creepypasta-y. So I'm going to draw in my circle. Partially covered up by the top part of our football. Then, looking at whichever reference image you're using, there's usually a shine mark, and depending on where the light is coming from, it's going to be different shapes. If it's coming from a window or something like that, it's usually a square shape, whereas if it's coming from a ring light, it's going to be a donut or something else like that. My reference image has a rectangle just right across the front of the eye, and that looks like a goat eye, but I'm going by my reference. I'll show it here or something. Here you go. Then behind that you have your pupil. Then we're going to sketch in our eyelid. It's usually a curved line along the top of your football. In this case, my reference image has a little bit of a hooded eyebrow, so it's not a perfectly curved line. So I'm just gonna follow along with my reference here. Kind of flattens out a little bit and then comes wider here. And then at the corners of our eyes, we have our tear ducts, and they're kind of like lumpy triangles. There's one lumpy triangle. There's another lumpy triangle. Two lumpy triangles. Then, last but not least, in the first step of sketching out our eye, we're going to add an eyebrow. Now this is usually when I start going into shading and talking to the kids about shading, but since I'm going to be painting this, I'm just going to sketch out some of my shadows. There is a lot of lighter color right here. There's kind of like a fatty round bit on most people's eyebrows. This is kind of where part of the muscles go that allow you to make facial expressions. So I remember to leave this part white. I'm going to kind of just circle it. There is a shadow here, which is where it kind of sinks in on the bridge of your nose. And then of course I have this kind of bottom eyelid area that is also a shadow, so I don't forget that. And there is the bottom eyelid, kind of has a thicker part that sticks out, especially on my picture here. And is my eyebrow, I think my eyebrow needs to come out a little bit more. Alright, so that is largely sketched out my eyeball. I'm going to thicken this eyelash line so I remember. And that is how you draw an eye. Now I'm going to try and paint this eye, so stick with me. So not having a white of the heavy body acrylic was kind of an interesting thing, and I'm glad I had my own acrylic to use. But this stuff was so fun to work with. It is so thick and so dense. I mean, just look at how it comes out of the tube. It's like hugely heavy bodied, because that's what it is. Look at it. Look at it. It's stays up on its own. And you'll see in the back when I put down the white I had, which is regular acrylic. It's so much more liquidier. It does not hold the shape at all. I kind of enjoyed having the more liquidy white to kind of mix it with though, because I found with shading I sometimes would want like a thinner coat, which was easier to do with the regular acrylic. Just look at it, it falls over. But mixing the colors was fun. I definitely learned that when doing skin tones, ignore the existence of red. Red is stupid. Magenta is your friend with doing skin tones. I really liked how the skin tones looked whenever I was first putting them down. The tone was good, I was happy with them, and then I decided to start adding darker tones with the blues, and I hated it for a while, but I eventually, got back to what I wanted. It just took some time, and I'm really happy with what I wound up with in the end. It's all about learning and practicing, and I probably should have done some color tests with these materials before, painting my actual thing. But in the end, I like it, and it's awesome, and I was really happy with it. Working with the acrylics. I haven't done an acrylic painting, guys, since, high school. And, I was not good at painting. I've never been good at painting. I'm so happy with how this painting came out. It's crazy! And, I'd already been practicing this specific eye a million times in my classes, so like I had the shading down, you know. So I had kind of the room to experiment with it and try to figure out how to do it with paint, because I'd already done it so many times with just a regular old pencil. So yeah, that was a thing. It is awesome how many colors you can get out of just literally yellow, magenta, blue, and white, because I didn't add black to any of this. I mixed all these colors myself, and I like mixing colors. It's fun. You can really get some oomph in there. I really kind of wanted these to work a little bit more like oil paints, because the last time I've really done a painting, it was an oil painting, and I really enjoyed it. And it was nice being able to push things around and not having to hurry, which you can't do with acrylic, because of course it dries up, because it's acrylic. And it gets ready to tell you, just, I'm done, I'm dry. But also, on the same hand, it dried really quickly, so I was able to like move on and do other things. So, using different mediums, there was me coming back after like a long stretch. I like to use old plastic pieces. This was from a marker box, as kind of throwaway paint palettes, because they work, and recycling, right? Also, I don't want to put it on a plate because I'm going to forget to wash a plate, so just a random sheet of plastic that I have laying around is great. This is the point where this painting was looking bad. Like, proper bad. I was not liking how this was looking. The shading felt weird, and I was having a lot of trouble mixing dark enough colors for the eye, and I just wasn't having it. Wasn't enjoying it. And here, not too much farther away, and I started getting a little more happy with it. Like, I'm happy with that upper eyelid, and started pushing in the lower eyelid. Really getting that depth of the eyelid, bringing some white into the eye. You know, slowly but surely. It looks terrifying, especially now without the eyebrow at all. It's just like a hairless eyeball in the middle of a wall of flesh. Ugh. I wanted to use the thingamajig, the card, but it wasn't having it. There was no using the card. I wound up actually just using the card to paint off of when I was trying to get thicker globules of paint. Pretty happy with how the eyebrow came out. Not gonna lie. Eyelashes could have been better, but I was having a lot of trouble getting like a dark enough amount of paint on the paintbrush, but also having it be like opaque enough, but like also thin enough to spread and flick for an eyelash. I think that's something I'm just gonna have to experiment with until I'm happy. If I do another acrylic painting of an eye. A thinner paintbrush might have helped, because this was actually a good fat round boy. Was it a number 4? I don't know. And this is the point where it looked like a human eye. Oh my gosh. Cleaning up some of the shapes. I realized the pupil's actually kind of small, but whatevs. You know, it's an eyeball. The shading looks nice. And it's, you know, formed and everything. I was pretty happy with it. This next step, though, really made it for me. Where I mixed all of the colors, a little bit of white, painted on, and smudged it with water in my finger. And I really think it added this nice extra painterly depth. It's pretty with all the color tones. I liked it. It's cool. What do you think? Anyway, that was a really fun box. I'm looking forward to using the other panels at some point and doing another acrylic painting. I'm super proud of how this came out. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you guys next time. And thank you to my patrons, Jamie, Hans, Cindy, Mom, Dad, and Kaze. Thank you for putting up with me and my nonsense. Alright, bye!